Hey, welcome to another edition of Vegas Bad Boys of Podcasting. And folks, the contract now has finally been inked. I am not a cheap guy. Okay, negotiations kept happening and happening and happening, and hey, finally I'm back.
Finally, dude. I was trying to tell everybody, man. He's gonna keep holding out until he gets the number that he wants.
That's right.
I'm glad you got it though, man. I guess.
Right. Oh man, no, hey guys, it's great to be back and everything. It's been crazy, holidays and work and birthday celebrations and you name it. Royal Rumble events, it just kept me away. But anyway, I'm happy to be back. We don't have Matt Michaels, we don't have Basileri with us tonight as he's doing his comedy thing. So yeah, shout out to both of them. But we're here. And we got a lot to talk about. We're going to get into our wrestling talk. I'm going to tell you guys right now, 3 count is not going to really be a 3 count. It's really going to be talking about SmackDown, okay, and the ending of SmackDown. So just make sure you listen to that. We're not going to we may touch a tiny bit of it on this segment, but the majority of it is going to be on 3 count, which of course, if you're listening to the podcast, is released on Tuesdays. But if you're watching us live, make sure you hop back in. Until then, if you are watching us live now, make sure you put all of your comments in the chat box. We are live on Twitch, Facebook Live, and YouTube. All right, Sensei Steve. Man, a week of wrestling here. What moment shined for you this week?
You know, man, I'll tell you, the thing that stood out to me was, this weekend with AEW at least, they really showcased and spotlighted the wrestlers from CMLL. So I know everybody talks about AEW having a bloated talent roster and things of that nature as is. So why are they networking with other promotions? Why are they showcasing other wrestlers?
Yeah.
I think that this week of shows with AEW really did show that it's nice to be able to see a different viewpoint and a different style from time to time. You had 4 major luchadors that showed up on Wednesday and beat down Jon Moxley. Those being Mystico, Volador Jr., Hechicero, and Mascara Dorada. Those guys, beat down Moxley after he beat Jeff Hardy, and which was an interesting match to begin with, but nonetheless, they jumped over the barricade, laid out Moxley, prompted Claudio to come out, and that whole kind of storyline stretched across the week. So you had those 4 luchadors compete in a showcase match basically on Rampage against Christopher Daniels, Matt Sydal, Cool Hand Ange, and Daddy Magic. Obviously, they picked up the win there because that kind of segued into future plans that they have. So they're going to continue this feud with the BCC and the CMLL guys. So that's cool. If you are a fan of Lucha Libre at all, take 15 minutes out of your day and go watch the Bryan Danielson versus Hechicero match from Collision. Hechicero is he's got the nickname of the Mad Scientist, and he does a lot of technical stuff. So it really does show that it doesn't have to be all high flying and one particular style of Lucha Libre.
Right.
So that is one thing that's really cool is he does have a different body type than your traditional luchador. He can still do topes and fly around and stuff, but he is very technically gifted. And if you are a fan of technical wrestling, I highly recommend checking out that match specifically this week.
Okay. No doubt. I tell you what stood out for me was the promos this week from WWE side. All the promos to me was on point. They were all fire. They got me ready for what we can expect for Mania. Kicking off with CM Punk. We know we're not going to have him at Mania, but even his promo and how Drew, which, by the way, I know Matt Michaels hates Drew. Drew is on another level right now, and I don't know if people see it. And I just love the storyline, with the idea. I think I could believe in the storyline because I think it's easy to believe that the average person would be pissed when they seem like they are being left behind, not giving all the things that other wrestlers seems to be giving when they were holding the company together during a tough time, and
Agreed.
yeah. And so I really do enjoy the storylines with that. And Drew saying that he prayed that what happened to CM Punk actually happened. Wow. I was ready for
some
that.
of the memes that he posted on social media this week were fucking
Right.
crazy.
Absolutely.
Like, obviously the one of his face on the dude, like
Right,
throwing
I
the
saw
peace
that one.
sign at CM Punk's grave.
Yep.
Oh shit, dude. Like expert level stuff from Drew this week on social media. For
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then also a good match between him and Sammy as well. I think that was the main event. So a great way to end Raw. Didn't know which way how it was going to go, but I'm loving what Drew's doing right now. And Logan Paul does something that is great. I don't know if I've mentioned this before. I totally hate the dude because he does such a great job. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I absolutely do, and that's the good part. That's the good part, though.
Right.
That is why they can't have him be a babyface, because people just want to hate him.
Yes,
he's really good in his role, and yeah, this run with him has been completely amazing. He's done amazing out of the park work.
He has. He shout out Kevin Owens for, hey, you definitely was, put in that work against me in that match. He said, I thought you was nothing more than a pissed off donut.
Right. And saying that he did more damage to him than Floyd Mayweather did.
Right.
I thought that was fucking funny.
Yes. Yes.
So
yes.
By the way, if you can't tell, I in light of everything that happened with SmackDown, I did have to go back and watch SmackDown in full. So I can at least speak to, the stuff that I saw on that show. So
sure. And and SmackDown highlight, shout out to Bayley. I mean, we finally got what we knew was going to happen, but everybody played their roles well. I mean, Bayley was at the point talking about how she enjoyed her being around Damage Control. She wanted to be around her girls. They're friends. And while she's saying that and being sincere, they're in the back, the Kabuki Warriors, laughing at her. Like, wow. You know what I mean? It's just great storytelling, man. And then of course the attack came and that leads to that match. That's actually a match I'm looking forward to. And I would be so excited if Bayley pulls that off. You know what I mean? It's her time. It's her time.
She will. I think that they will crown her at Mania. I think that that's the best thing that they could do. And quite honestly, I mean, if you're gonna look for a match to close night one, do you go with the highest type of a marquee match for the women being the rumored match of Becky and Rhea, or do you go with the better story, which obviously is Bayley and Io?
That is a tough one. If Bayley is supposed to be the one on top, I would want her to close it. Yeah.
I agree completely. And the thing that really stood out too was how organic the fan reaction was for her when she won the Royal Rumble. Obviously she's supposed to be a heel, all this kind of stuff, but the fans just they were just pulling for her, and it was really a great surprise, honestly. Ride that success. I mean, they were already going to go this route anyway, with having this happen. Just go with it all the way, and you can make Bayley at WrestleMania. Obviously she's had great success in the past, but she can get her statement win and a career-defining win at WrestleMania if she closes out night one.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, so yeah, that's kind of where I was excited for. The promos were just all on fire for this week. Just really, that's what stood out. So there's that.
Yeah, most definitely, man. So I do have to continue to throw some praise if we're talking about promos and character building. Dude, the stuff that Tony Storm is doing on AEW has been an absolute treasure to watch and listen to.
Yeah.
So, this week on Dynamite, they had a women's match of your girl, Deonna Purrazzo, and Taya Valkyrie.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, how do you feel about that? How do you feel about that? Now that Deonna is all elite, we haven't heard from you.
Well, listen, I'm all excited when talent wants to make some more money. Okay, but I like them where they were at. I like them at TNA. Doing what they were doing and holding it down there. So at most, this could still help build them, because it's only so much of the roster you can go through when you've went through a lot of the folks over at TNA. So now this is a whole brand new, different roster. I just hope, and I have watched one match with Deonna since she's been over at AEW. It wasn't this week. I think it was maybe the week after or so, or whatever, or maybe it was her intro match. But I just hope they do right by her, because Taya Valkyrie and all, and some of the other members, I don't know. I just feel like they still kind of lost it, and Deonna has it. She has it.
Agreed.
Yeah. So I don't know how they're doing, but it's since she's been on, but I'm hoping she helps elevate that women's division.
Oh, definitely, man. And I think the thing that really will make a difference is if they actually allow the women to have more than just one segment on an AEW show.
Right.
It's still, we've talked about the people that have come back from injury or that they've signed, that have, filled out that women's roster. But the thing is, if you're still only allowing one segment per show, I mean,
what's his reason? Is it because he doesn't have the faith in this talent either?
I see the way that you phrase that. But realistically, I think that, I don't want to speak for him on it, but it's something that he has never had a strong presence across multiple segments on any of his shows. So I believe that it has less to do with the roster and the depth of the roster and their abilities than it does the booker. I think that, obviously Tony's the one that's laying out the matches, laying out the segments. The blame falls 99% at his feet. The women are making the most of their segments, making the most of their minutes. Dude, Tony Storm on commentary for that match was absolutely hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
I recommend going back and watching that match for you, Impact.
Okay.
If for nothing else, because it is a Deonna Purrazzo match, but also because they weren't afraid to be over the top and humorous and actually have elements of sports entertainment in there without it being like over the top, if that makes sense.
Sure.
But yeah, the thing that really kind of stood out this week too is that they are continuing to build Swerve and they are continuing to build Hangman Page. On Wednesday, they did the dealer's choice matches, which, they had blind challengers, mystery challengers for each of those guys chosen. So Hangman Page, his opponent was chosen by Swerve, and Swerve's opponent was chosen by Hangman. So we had Toa Leona, which is a name that many Las Vegas wrestling fans should be well aware of. He was in there, obviously former ROH six-man champion against Hangman Page. And then you had Rob Van Dam against Swerve Strickland in the main event of Dynamite.
Okay.
And I'll tell you, man, yeah, Rob Van Dam is 53 years old, but Rob Van Dam can still do Rob Van Dam shit.
I believe that.
It's insane, man. It's insane.
Yeah, that's awesome. I also forgot to mention, I talked about promos just being on fire. That's kind of what I wanted to really point out. The Cody and Seth, I'm not gonna lie, after listening to Seth, I was like, well, damn, I guess maybe he should be going for your title. I mean, it was presented that well. It was, he sold it. He sold the idea, I believe, because think about it. When it was first thrown out there to the fans that was in the audience, they was like, no, we don't want him to fight against that title. No. And after Seth made a case, okay, fans were kind of, okay, well, it's amazing how you were able to turn the tables on that. And that shows just how great Seth is when it comes to doing his promos. And we already know how great he is being a good athlete. So I had to shout out that segment. And all Cody could do is really just look and take this in for a minute like, well, damn, maybe I do have all this wrong. you know?
Very well. And especially in light of how the week finished.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah, so just another shout out to that with the promo week. I don't have any where's the love. WTF, well, I mean, you probably have a few of those. I'll let you go. Mine's going to maybe kind of spill over into our 3 count, segment, so we'll see. So I'll let you go. Do you have any where's the love or WTFs for this week?
So the another thing that I do want to mention is they're finally starting to show some love for Daniel Garcia. Okay. They're starting to build this guy. They've got him aligned more so with FTR on a weekly basis as opposed to with Daddy Magic and Cool Hand Ange. So this past week on Collision, there was the main event of FTR and Daniel Garcia against Christian Cage, Nick Wayne, and Killswitch, formerly Luchasaurus. Another banger main event that showcased all 6 guys in the match. Daniel Garcia did pick up the actual deciding fall, and that is huge given the names that are involved in that match, given how they could have very easily had FTR hit the shatter machine on Nick Wayne and pick up the win. They chose to have Daniel Garcia pick up the win over Nick. But again, it puts the spotlight on younger talent and you build for the future. So I'm hoping that they are, righting the wrongs and turning the corner on a few of the issues that have kind of crept up with AEW. But yeah, I didn't have a where is the love, but I had a we're starting to see some love finally for Daniel Garcia.
I can feel the same way in terms of I hope we fully go with the Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler. They should be a dominant tag team. And at some point, now that Triple H has this full control, I'm still hoping. Drew. I'm praying. I got a prayer of my own, Drew, and that is to let Shayna loose, okay, and let her be the badass that I know that she can be. There's no reason why she shouldn't be up there in the level with the other women that are there, and but that's fine. Right now, she could be a big help for Zoe. They could be a dominant team. I'm hoping that's where we're moving to. I want to see more love there, let's not mess this one up. So yeah, I'm keeping my eyes out on that and see where it goes.
Absolutely.
Was there any what the fucks for you this week? How'd you scratch?
So ultimately, I think that they're doing some things and just pointing out spots in matches and missed timings and things like that. You're gonna have that stuff. Sure. Especially with, I'd mentioned right at the beginning how, the CMLL guys provide an alternate perspective and a different style. you're dealing with a lot of differing styles and a lot of people that have never worked together. So many people don't have any chemistry with each other whatsoever.
Yeah.
So, it's outside of those types of things. It wasn't too much. I'll tell you, as I'm thinking about it now, there were a couple of things. Production things in AEW still continue to be what the fucks. Pyro's going off late. Also, it was most noticeable with Jericho's entrance.
Oh boy.
It felt like as if they missed their pyro cue. There were a couple of instances I know that one was on Dynamite and one was, I think, on Collision, where Dasha said the wrong name.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Now, mind you, so they were the enhancement talents that were going against Hook, but she said, the Outrunners, Turbo Floyd and Truth Magnum, she got their names mixed up. Okay. Then so she corrected herself in the middle of that. But again, enhancement guys, whatever. On Dynamite, Wardlow has got the sub nickname of Mr. Mayhem. I wish they would just drop that. But anyway, if they're choosing to call him that, she just straight up called him Mr. Wardlow and then corrected herself. So, I mean, that type of thing, it's just refining the things that stand out to somebody that's watching, especially if somebody's tuning in for the first time. They're going to notice that shit.
Sure.
And it's one of those type of things that, especially right now with ticket sales being where they are, with ratings being where they are, you have to make sure that every little thing is done to the best of your ability. And mistakes happen. Right. Mistakes definitely do happen, but it needs to get course corrected before it becomes a bigger issue.
Right.
So, I mean, that's going to be the biggest thing. And I don't know for the life of me why, after all these years, they still run into issues with pyro, with wrong things popping up on the screens and that kind of stuff. Just refine your processes. What the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, guys, you this shouldn't be new to you right now. We're going into what, five years close,
Yeah. 5 years.
Yeah. Come on, man. We should have this down now. I would think that Tony should look at criticism that he hears and tries to figure out ways to fix it instead of pretending as if there is no issue and that AEW is just all great all the way around.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Because I know that I'm sure he reads it, he sees it, but he doesn't say anything. He makes it seem like it's not existing. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like you just talked about the tickets, with the ticket sales and viewership. Okay. Maybe there's a reason for that. Why not say we need to correct some things?
Yeah.
But he's got to remove himself out of that equation, remove that ego he has, and really start to make something out of it.
Yeah.
The only reason why I don't watch AEW is just because for me it just seems like it's a lot of times it's just not watchable. And maybe that's because I've seen so much of WWE product, even TNA product. I haven't watched them in a minute, but I can watch their product and feel entertained or feel enlightened by a lot of things they do. So I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know what's going on with that. But hopefully, man, he figures it out before it's too late. Because we don't want, even though we might have people that criticize AEW, I don't want to see AEW go away. I wasn't one of the ones that wanted to see WCW go away. You know what I mean?
Exactly. That was the worst thing to happen to pro wrestling in decades. And now it's unbelievable just how many wrestling fans want there to be a promotion that closes down so that hundreds of people are out of work. Exactly. And there's not a variant for the main product that's being mass produced. It doesn't make sense. It's extremely short-sighted by a lot of people.
Yeah, I agree. In terms of what I'm looking out for, let's just get to the Elimination Chamber. I'm ready. Let's just lock down what these matches are going to be. I don't know, after especially seeing what went down this, this past Friday. I'm just want to know what the rest of the card of everything is just going to look like. So that's the only thing I'm looking out for is let's just get on to that. I know we got some time. Although we're on the road of Mania, we still got another pay-per-view, or I'm sorry, PLE.
PLE.
Let me get my acronyms right, man. I don't want to be like Dasha. Jesus.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, man. It's crazy. This is a great time to be a professional wrestling fan, regardless of the promotion that you're following.
Oh, yeah.
Because everybody knows that everybody is watching wrestling right now because of, all eyes are on Mania and the Mania build. So this is the time to be firing on all cylinders.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
But yeah. What else, man? What else are you looking for?
I think that's about it for me, man. Right now,
okay.
I'm ready to build the card up so I know what to expect.
Nice.
I'm one of the ones that's going to be going to at least one of the shows, as I've talked about many of the times on this on our podcast, and I still hold to it. I only go to one night. It would always just be one night. I did do 2 nights one time just to make sure that how I felt about it was really how I was going to feel, and it is true. I felt real dumb going twice to the arena, sitting in the same seat, paying double for parking, paying double for food, there for 6-7 hours, whatever. I just felt bad. I really was
why'd you sit in the same seat?
Because when you buy the tickets, you have the option of sitting in the same seats for both nights. I mean,
that's part of it. That's part of it. You go somewhere, you sit in one seat so that you have one vantage point for one night. You sit in a completely different area for the next night, and it's like as if you're seeing 2 different shows, man.
But then if I
because you are,
but I'm also paying more.
Shh, capitalism. I love Mania being 2 nights. So we've had this discussion at length.
Sure.
I would rather have 2 3.5 4-hour shows than 1 8-hour show. That's just me.
I think I probably would like it if I was just a viewer, but I don't like it as a participant, a fan participant going to the show. That's my problem. If everything could be, if they had a full, what would be great? If they had a full-on package where not only you get your discounts, because they do discount when you do want to do both nights in seating versus if you go individual. But if they did that, and then let's say they also added parking for both nights, but just one price for that. And then maybe they did, I don't know, they offered some food voucher that was the same for both nights. Maybe it was a $25 voucher for that, but you could get it both nights, but I'm only paying one time. Okay. I'm up for that. But it's just way too much, man. I mean, that Dallas show killed me. Yeah, I don't know.
That was my last Mania too.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Until 2025, that is. What? Yeah. I mean, they can't telegraph it any more than they already have.
Sure.
For those of you that aren't aware, WWE is doing a WrestleMania kickoff event from T-Mobile Arena on Thursday of this week. Why they're doing a WrestleMania kickoff event in Las Vegas when they're hyping to WrestleMania in Philly? There must be an ulterior motive. If only it wasn't right around the time where they announced where Mania is going to be next year.
Right.
Yeah. So we'll see y'all in Vegas in 2025.
That probably would be the show that I am sitting by myself. Because I need the 10K. I need the 10K ticket.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because you're not going to have to do anything for travel.
Right.
You're not going to have to do anything for that. So go all out on your ticket.
Yeah. Yeah. But it have to be me. I can't be taking other people.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's an impact experience, man. And that's it. I'm being selfish.
An impact experience. I like that. So obviously, the build is on for WrestleMania. And speaking of going to live shows, I am actually going to Dynamite this week in Phoenix and also Collision in Henderson. So I'm going to be checking out both of those shows. This will be my last Sting match as well, because Sting and Darby Allin are facing Ricky Starks and Big Bill in a tornado tag match for the AEW World Tag Titles. So I figured I'd check that out. That's on Dynamite. Also, Swerve Strickland versus Hangman Adam Page. The winner gets Samoa Joe at Revolution. Looking forward to that. Also, the Blackpool Combat Club against Volador Jr. It's also going to be Mascara Dorada and Hechicero. So that's going to be pretty awesome. And tell me if you didn't see this one coming. Impact.
Okay. Yeah.
Tony Khan will make a big announcement on Wednesday at Dynamite.
Boy, I didn't see that coming.
Hey, man. There you go. He'll be back.
Oh, man. Well, you know what? I guess I got to tune in, right? I want to know what this announcement
is.
There
you go. There you go.
Is there a time frame he normally does this announcement? Is it somewhere like around 8:33 or something, so I could kind of, tap in right around that time? No, it's whenever he feels like it, huh? All right.
No, man. It ultimately, whenever the vibe is right, that's when Mr. TK is going to make his appearance.
Does he? By the way, I know we're not supposed to name the name of McMahon, but does he have his own intro theme or anything like McMahon? When he comes, no.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
Come on.
It wouldn't surprise me if he did have some sort of an intro song.
Yeah.
Like commission a song to be made or something.
Right.
I mean, dude's been on TV enough. Might as well at this point.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, nothing will top No Chance though.
That's true. Nothing will.
Not factoring in, the individual that entered to that song, but that was a great fucking entrance song. Absolutely was.
Especially how you hear it revving up before it actually hits.
Yes.
You'd be like, oh shit, he's here, Oh,
right. And now you're like, oh shit, he's here.
Right.
But we'll never have to worry about that again.
Yeah. Well, thank you, sir.
Indeed.
Yeah, man. Best in show, Raw. Raw was definitely hands down from beginning, middle, end. I mean, it had everything I needed in there. I like the Gunther match with Kofi. Well, although we know where that was going to go, Kofi just still amazes me. The fact he can still go, and it's the match over really looked like that. He could be a contender with Gunther. The way it was presented. And so, although we knew what the outcome was going to be, I thought overall that match was really good. And of course, I mentioned Sammy and Drew really took to that match as well. Sammy is just he's just another one of those guys that man, it would be great if there was a chance that he could be a title holder. I know everybody can't be title holders, and I know kind of what the design, the look, everything that's got to be put into place. But it would just be great sometimes if some of the others that really put in that work can really have their moments of shining sometime, So, but yeah, Raw was definitely the show for me, man. What about you?
All right. So, I do have to say this, just because you mentioned Kofi Kingston, he was actually name dropped by Swerve Strickland this week in a great promo, where Swerve paid homage to people that helped to pave the road for him, and great black wrestlers that came before him. So, like he mentioned Ron Simmons, He mentioned Kofi Kingston.
Okay.
He even mentioned the Ring of Honor Women's Champion Athena. And so it was really cool to, he wasn't trying to be this evil heel. He was just staking his claim that he will be the first Black AEW World Champion. And honestly, it looks like as if the cards could fall in a way that he very well could be.
Right.
It all depends on, I think this coming week that they're going to do some sort of a fuck finish, and it'll end up being a 3-way at Revolution with Joe. Which if that happens, then yeah, keep your eyes open, especially for a Swerve title win at Revolution. But all that being said, AEW Collision. So the in-ring on Collision was just on another level. Serena Deeb, her being back in the women's division is yet another great asset.
Yeah.
And that quite honestly, they need to build around. She is somebody that, yes, she provides a lot of experience, but she can be a cornerstone of that division. And keep in mind, she was a coach for WWE for years.
Right.
And she never really was used to her full potential in AEW thus far, but it feels like as if now they're behind her. Also signing Queen Aminata to a contract. So Queen Aminata is now All Elite as well. Okay. So very cool to see that. AEW Collision was a fucking great show this week. Super easy watch. Probably one of the fastest 2-hour episodes that I've seen.
When Collision is in town this week, first off, that's a live show?
Yes,
it's a live show, right? Okay.
Yep.
And it's 2 hours?
2 hours.
Okay. That's so interesting. And they don't do any other tapings.
Dude, tickets are $20, bro. Tickets are $20. Like
it's Saturday though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which obviously that's the big reason why they haven't drawn. You would think, okay, it's the day before the Super Bowl in Las Vegas, which is the same city where the Super Bowl is. So, you're hoping to get that overflow of traffic. It has not translated at all, man. They've set up for a 2,000 seat venue, and they have sold like 1,400 tickets at this point.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and they're starting to put the card together for Collision as well. So it'll be interesting how they mic up those 2,000 fans. Hopefully it grows to, draw the 2,000 mark by that point. But yeah, dude, they got to get something figured out with these ticket sales.
Yeah, absolutely. And how many seats did you say? How many seats does the Dollar Loan Center have?
So the venue holds like 6,000.
6,000.
They've set up for only about 2, and it's terrible, man. But ultimately the thing is, obviously this was not a well executed ticket sale date. Okay.
Right.
I do like them going to smaller venues, because I think that for shows like Collision, they need to be in those venues that are, the 10,000 max seat venues, and embrace that identity, make it a more intimate show. Make it the Saturday night, make it a little bit more gritty. Give it a little bit more of an edge, no pun intended. But yeah, they definitely need to establish identities for these shows. They need to steer the course, man. It's not looking good right now. And yet they are doing some great match work and starting to build characters. But is it too little too late for that?
Right. Yeah. I'm surprised with his connection within the NFL, why he couldn't somehow figure out a way to maybe even bring some of there's got to be some known Jacksonville guys that can come there just to, and it's NFL, right? So
exactly.
Somehow to get people to show up, unless Daddy said, hey, off the NFL.
That could be. Hey, dude, you never know.
Seriously, he could. Yeah.
Yeah.
Be like, damn it, Daddy, please. Yeah. No.
Hey, man.
Well, all right. Guys, listen, thanks for hanging out with us. Definitely tune in next. We're gonna really get into how SmackDown ended. Um, a lot to say, and we want to hear your opinions as well. So when we jump off of this podcast, make sure the best way is to be following us, because you will get the notifications when we go live, Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube. And we want to hear what you got to say. You know, we can see the eyes. I'm sure you can see the eyes that are on here watching. So don't be shy. Let's let her know your thoughts as well. But we're going to talk all about it next on our live 3 count. And for everyone else that's just listening to us uh, on podcast that was released Monday, thank you. And make sure you tune in for the next podcast. All right. So with that, we will be back next week. Hopefully, we'll have all the crew, or actually, we won't have Sin City Steve. He's going to be out and about. But hey, the nice thing is that there's always going to be one of us here, 2 of us, maybe even 3, who knows? And we'll keep the show going. So, with that, we will see you next week. Take care. Happy wrestling.